Good day everybody, this is the Ecclesiarch here, back with some more Warpforge card reveals, and this time we got some cards for the newest faction that's coming to the game, the Tau. And I don't think anybody is really surprised by this because there were obvious hints that it was going to be the Tau. Cough cough, the Tau section in the Discord cough. Anyway, so gentlemen, I have 4 cards to reveal for you today, and all of them are going to be stratagems. Now, before we get into that, there is a new mechanic that is going to be unique to the Tau that's going to be added to the game, and that mechanic is the marker light. So let's take a look at what marker light actually is. So marker light X, when this unit receives a ranged attack, it receives X additional damage and loses marker light at the end of the turn. So what does this mean? Well, essentially this functions like a sentencing from the Raven Guard, but there's a catch. Whenever you apply marker light to the target, it is going to stay on the target until it is actually triggered. But wait, there's more. So let's say I put marker light 3 on the target, right? So that means that they technically now have sentence 3, but this is only going to trigger when the unit is going to receive a ranged attack. However, what happens is that when you do trigger this, it's going to disappear at the end of the turn. So essentially, as long as you are not attacking with the ranged attack, the unit is going to have the marker light on it, like permanently, basically. And I'm guessing this is going to create some very cancerous situations where essentially the Tau are going to be trying to stack marker light on the enemy warlord, and once there's enough stacks, then attack the enemy warlord with all their firepower, which is going to do a lot of damage because once again you can trigger marker light multiple times on a single turn because it disappears at the end of the turn. As I understand, it's going to change color once you attack it, indicating that it's about to disappear at the end of the turn. So, enough about that, gentlemen. Now let's get into the cards themselves, and the first card that I got here is the Recon Sweep. 3 energy, stun an enemy unit and give it marker light 1. So this is like a stun card that almost all the factions get. There are like ways to stun a target for almost everybody, which is basically in the game. I don't remember if anybody, if we have a faction that doesn't have stun right now. I might not remember correctly. Maybe Chaos doesn't have it. Well, anyway, whatever it is, this seems like a very basic tactic. You just stun a target, you apply marker light 1, but if once again, this can set up the enemy warlord destruction because the marker light stacks once again, so you may want to slow the enemy warlord down and just keep stacking that marker light on it. But on the flip side, you can also use it on a unit to slow it down, and the next turn maybe you just take it out with the help of the marker light, which is basically sentencing, as I said, or vulnerability in Warforge's terms. Now, the second one that we got here is the coordinated engagement. So give marker light 3 to an enemy troop. Now that is very good because marker light 3 on the enemy warlord would be nuts. And if it already had marker light, destroy it instead. So this is going to be the Tau's hard removal, basically. So this is going to help you deal with most threats, and this is going to be very good against any beefy target. So certainly a pretty good card, and probably this is going to be included in most of the decks. Now the next thing that we got here is the priority target for energy. Give marker light 2 to an enemy. So essentially this time you're gonna be able to target the enemy warlord. So as you can see, it's like 1 cost higher than the 3 energy one, but gives less marker light. But the whole thing here is that you can basically target the warlord with this. So once again, certainly a very dangerous thing because this is essentially sentence 2, and from HHL you might remember just how much damage these things can dish out. And finally, we have the 7 energy card, which is the Burgeoning Empire. Draw 3 cards and lower cost by 1 when an enemy dies. So this is very similar to the card that the Blood Angels actually have in Horus Heresy Legions right now is literally 7 energy as well, but it reduces the cost, I believe, when Requiem is triggered. So this one's actually much better because there's going to be a lot of units just being destroyed, and I imagine like you play against Chaos and Chaos Spawn is being played, right? Spawn them, you can essentially then cast this for free, so probably one of these cards are going to be an auto include in all of the decks. Now, I also want you to keep in mind that this is the Tau Empire, if you see the markings on the burgeoning empire, right? So all the cards are marked as Tau Empire, so not like Goth Clan and Soltec Dynasty and Saimhan like the other factions, but this is the Tau Empire. So apparently Tau are not going to be broken down into smaller factions. That might be a sign of that, but I guess we won't know until we see it. Maybe even when the faction drops, it's going to actually have the different tag under it. But this is definitely an interesting thing to note. Now, these are all the cards basically that I had to reveal to you guys. So BJ is going to be revealing the next batch, and there's going to be other content creators dropping some stuff later on as well. I myself am really excited to see what exactly we're getting. Is there going to be a campaign for Tau? And essentially like what more interesting or potentially terrifying things that this expansion is going to bring to the game. So thank you for watching, and Ecclesiarch out.